Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of From Dust, Before It Settled. This is going to be a sort of mini-campaign here on the channel of IRONSWORN, which we'll talk a bit more about the game and the setting that we're in later. If you're familiar with the channel, you may recognize that From Dust is the title of another show that happens on this channel once in a blue moon. If you happened once in ancient times, if you're not familiar with that show, don't stress, don't worry. No previous knowledge of that show is necessary to understand what's going on. Yeah. That said, in order to make that actually true, that you don't need to know anything, we should go around and do some introductions and say, whomst we are. And, God, usually I come up with a question, but I think, frankly, I'm just going to go around and ask how people have been. So I'm gonna start us with myself to say who I am and give an example for my other cast members, because that's how I do things. I don't know why I'm showing how the sausage is made here. Hi, I'm Dylan. I use he, him pronouns. I am a game designer and streamer on the internet. I used to stream role-playing games, and now I'm doing that again, sort of. We'll see how it goes. And I'm not going to talk about myself and how I've been right now, because I really just want to know how my friends have been. So, Summer, could you introduce yourself a little bit, and then tell me how you've been?
Yes. Hi, hello. I am Summer. This is my first time on this channel. Really excited to be here. Very new to streaming, very new to TTRPGs, first gaming experience. And I'm nervous but excited.
I promise to ruin it for you by telling you that everything you're doing is wrong.
I can't wait for this to be my first and last TTRPG experience. No, I'm here every Monday. So
Yeah.
I'm great. I'm doing great. I've been so hyped for this. I've been really hyped for this. So I'm really excited. And Jess is here with us. Me and Kiana knew it was gonna be me and Kiana, but we have a Jess now, which is really exciting. I know that Jess is just factoring into my well-being, basically. Yeah, I'm really excited for our little group to be back together again. I think the last time that we played, all of us, it was the Monster of the Week
game. Yeah.
That was a long time ago. The monster molecule that was full of confrontation and conflict. Because whoops, I'm a ghost. But yeah, no, I'm doing good. This week flew by so fast. Can't believe it's Saturday. But
what have you been up to? We haven't talked since Monday. I get to ask you how you are more than once a week now.
I know, but now we'll have nothing to talk about on Monday.
There's an entire Sunday and most of Monday.
There's a whole Sunday, yeah. Since Monday, what even happened? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Me and Katie played RAF on Tuesday, which was really fun. Wednesday, we were supposed to have our premiere for Glitter Hearts, but that didn't end up happening because of real life stuff. So that'll be in a couple weeks. But then Thursday, I ran an off-stream game of Urban Shadows, which was really good. Really, really good. So fun. I'm really loving playing off-stream games. No offense to all of you in chat right now, but it's a different atmosphere to play games off-stream. And that has been really, really fun. And then yesterday was our first day back for actual Tales from Thersha with Quest in the Quest RPG system. And I'm going to take this opportunity to tell Kiana something, which is really fun. So Scout and Lauralee got engaged. And Reed is going to make Lauralee and or Scout and or both of them go tell Rain, to her grave, basically.
Oh my God. Yeah,
she's gonna be like, you have to go tell your dead ex-girlfriend. Like,
Yeah, go tell your dead ex-girlfriend who died
yeah,
trying to save your ass.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
hopefully she'd want you to be happy.
Yeah, I mean, she did everything to make him happy.
Oh
But she's
yeah,
also
Oh.
super fucking dead.
yeah. It's gonna be
that
really, it's gonna be really fun. I'm excited for that. But it was really good to have that group back together and playing those characters, because we did a little side shot of a tale from Thersha while we were testing out the quest campaign. We literally only rolled once last night. That's fine. We were doing a lot of exposition because we've been apart for so long. So we were doing a lot of talking and catching up and kind of goofing off and stuff. And I got to say probably my favorite thing that I've ever gone to say ever in Tales from Thersha, which is in character. Dingo's character Raisin was insulting an NPC's name. His name is Scout. And was saying that it was suspicious. And he was like, don't even talk to me. Her character's name is Raisin. And then he said, fucking dried fruit. And it was so fun. I know. Literally was just like, fuck it. You got a fucking dried fruit name. I do not want to hear your bullshit right now, Raisin. It was so good. It was really fun. So yeah, I've been good. Had mass. Oh, I died this morning. Wow, I forgot to mention that.
You did die this morning.
I think I blocked it out. I died this morning. I died this morning in almost the exact same way that I died in From Dust. And then time was rewound in both of those games. And I was saved miraculously.
Saved miraculously. But with the knowledge that death occurred.
Well, Charlie doesn't remember that he died.
Charlie doesn't
Irene remembers that he died, though, which is what's...
Yeah, that's fine.
Fun.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So, and Kiana was there to witness both of them.
Yeah.
Yep. It was great. Mine collapsing around me. I gave my life trying to save the woman that I love. And then it never happened.
It was given back to you.
Yeah, and then she was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
We're rewinding time.
Talk about re-gifting.
Yeah. And then she rewound time and we're just like, hey, let's not go in here. I'm not alive.
How about we don't do this?
Look, sometimes you gotta rewind time to just fix a mistake or two.
I know.
Leads to death.
Yeah,
I know.
Fire Emblem lets you do it.
So it's
just
Life is Strange lets you do it, but Summer doesn't.
Well, I don't want that. No. Boy. Yeah, Kiana saved me. It was amazing.
Yep.
Love that for you, truly. Speaking of Kiana, you've never been on the channel before. That's not true. Who are you? Yeah. What are your pronouns? How you been?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Kiana. I use she, they pronouns. It's been a hot fucking second since I've been here on the channel. But I'm excited to be back and doing stuff. What the fuck has happened over the last 7 months? I'm in a different setup now, clearly. I have a green screen. Things are... I improve. I have a mic arm now. I vastly improved my setup.
You have a channel where you do things sometimes, I think.
I do also have a channel.
You might have been nominated for a thing?
Oh, yeah, that was... Yeah, so... a lot has happened. So... picked up a lot of stuff on Salt Sweet Games, which is my channel, over the past 7 months, 8 months. Basically, since the beginning of the year, we've been doing more TTRPG stuff, video stuff, Masks of Nylathotep, which Summer's on. We started that basically from the beginning of the channel, so we've been playing that for a long ass time now. There's all that. I also the TTRPG Safety Toolkit, which I am a co-curator of 1ANE, which is wild and weird. Still emotionally processing that, I think, as a thing that happened. I've made some games. I'm writing in a bunch of games. I'm really busy all the time. The days just kind of blur together ever since the 2020 happened. But we're here. We're here. And also, for some of you, you may recognize my character, which I had in a previous campaign called Zyra, which was a Cypher campaign. Unfortunately, that game got canceled, but now I get to bring her back, and I'm real excited.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, she fits in the IRONSWORN. It makes sense for her to be here. And I've got dope ass art of her, so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Jess, we have not seen you on the channel since before the world started ending. I think
Since the before times.
Yeah, I think the last time we had an episode of Travel was like late 2019.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So who
It was
you...
like November, December, yeah.
I've never been on this channel.
Not in the new world, no.
Not in the world as we know it. No. Yes. So hi, I'm Jess. My pronouns are she, they, she, her, they, them. Either is fine. I have no care. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I am playing a character on this thing. We'll deal with that later. I don't know. What's next?
How you been? How are you? How's life? I mean, despite the entire planet being on fire and things literally being on fire, and I think both of our states now.
Yes, probably. I assume things are on fire in my state because it's 117 degrees all the time.
Oh no. Don't love that.
Nope, that's why I stay inside. I have been surviving burnout like a champ, and revisiting old things I enjoy instead, because I can't produce anything right now.
Yeah, I can understand that. I know that. See, the presenter in me wants to be like, I hear that you have been playing Hades, but we both know I've been spending all of my time in your chat through all of your Hades sessions, pretty much for the past like month.
Yes, streaming has still continued. I don't stream TTRPGs anymore because I just can't. But I happily appear on them. My channel is now pretty much like JRPGs, action RPGs, and all the otome games I can stomach.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hades. We have been playing that every Friday night because I've tried polling my audience to choose from several games for several weeks in a row. And it's been Hades by a mile every single time, so fuck it.
Yeah. Yesterday's poll was real interesting with its options that I think all had Hades in them.
Yes, Hades? ? Hades, or obviously Hades. Obviously Hades was the one that won. Not that it matters.
That does not surprise me.
That's what I voted for.
It's such a good game.
Look, I get it. It's super fun to play. I assume it's fun to watch, and also literally everyone is hot. Yeah.
I mean, what more could you want except more of it, really?
Yeah. Beat it last night finally.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was cool.
Yeah, I remember you got to, not to spoil anything, the final boss last week, and then you were like, well, that's probably the last time that's happening for a long time. And then next time you sit down to play, you get to the final boss more than once and then defeat it.
Listen,
like, fuck yeah.
I have low expectations for myself, so I won't be disappointed. At least where it's related to action games.
I just want to say that I always believed in you, and I was very stoked to be there for the history in the making.
It was the worst build too. It was the clunkiest build. I didn't enjoy playing it.
It worked, obviously.
It did work. It did work. It was just weirdly taxing to play that one.
Right.
Because it relied on everything.
Yeah. I mean, you went into that boss fight with like over 200 health.
I think I was actually at full health at 200. I had all of my death thingamajigs, and it was a weirdly good position to be in. That will never happen again.
It was, in short, a little bonkers. If y'all watching this have not played Hades, you should go get Hades. It's a really good game.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I too have played too much Hades. It's entirely possible that even though you've been playing Hades for what, like a month and a half now, Jess?
Probably about 3-4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think I might have more playtime than you.
You definitely do, because I only play it on stream.
Yeah, and I've got like over 60 hours or something in it now.
Yeah, you did a whole week where you just played 8 hours a day.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Well, my streams are about 3 hours. And I've done like 4 streams. So whatever that math.
Yeah, so it's a really good game, and I recommend it.
Supergiant does what Supergiant does.
They do. They make such great games. And I don't know. They're a pleasure to watch and to play, and they put a lot of effort into making every aspect of the game satisfying and interesting, from the music to the art to the gameplay.
Yep.
I've never looked at a Supergiant game and be like, they're really kind of skimped here. Like, I've never
had that experience. And for the Greek mythology nerds in the crowd, you will be very happy with this game from a lore standpoint. They did their homework. I'm real proud of them.
Yeah, I hang out with Dylan when he plays off stream, and I just shout Greek mythology at him.
Yep. A character shows up and Keena's like, this person is this, and this is their history, and this is how they know this person. And I'm like, whoa, cool. How do you know all this?
I avoid shouting all of it because I'm not sure how much of it might ultimately become a spoiler.
Right. Yeah.
But
is it a spoiler if it's history, and like
that, that's fair, because
it's meant to be a callback into a known lore. So
true, that's fair. Which is also fairly true, because in Hakuoki streams there's history flying all over the chat in that one.
And there have been places where like spoiling the end of Titanic. Yeah.
Right. Spoilers, they all die.
There have been places where like the game diverges from the mythology in new and interesting ways. So you can never be absolutely certain. But there was there was that movie with Brad Pitt in it. Was it just called Troy?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So when that came out, my mother and my sibling went to see it in theaters, and they saw it, and they were talking about it afterwards, and one of them said something, I don't know, maybe about Achilles dying or whatever, and some person in the theater was like, spoilers.
Like, have you not read the Iliad?
They're like, come on.
Like, what the fuck? Did you take an English class?
Oh god.
That's simple information is in fucking Hercules, like the Disney movie.
Right.
Did somebody be like, it's spoilers about Achilles? Like, what? That doesn't make sense. Get over it.
Oh god. I watched a documentary, but someone spoiled the ending, so I just, I couldn't bear to watch the rest of it. Oh no. Oh,
Golden State Killer got caught. Better not watch that documentary. I know how it ends. Boring.
Yeah.
In chaos news, I have some chaos to relay that is not related to anything, actually. Except, so Summer and I have a show on Mondays here on the channel called Really Playing Games RPG. Recently, we played Putt Putt Joins the Parade, which one could loosely define as a game. And I was scrolling through Twitter today, and someone tweeted out that Akinator, I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced, the internet game where you answer a bunch of questions and guesses what character or celebrity you're thinking of. Someone mentioned that it's been ruined because they always get questions about whether the person they're thinking of is a YouTube Nazi. And so I was like, I haven't checked out Akinator in a long time. I should go poke at that. And I was like, I'm going to see if it can detect Putt Putt. And it did. It took 25 questions to get to putt-putt, which was shocking to me. And then I was like, fuck it, haha, I'm going to look for myself, knowing that there's 0% chance that I'm in this thing. And I was like, fuck it, I'll try it. And so I'm going through, and it's like question 50 or something, and it keeps being like, is it a YouTuber? And I'm like, yeah, I guess technically. I'm like, are they this? Are they that? Are they a real person? And one of the questions, like the second question, the first one was, have they ever existed? Second question was, have they ever died? And I'm like, I don't think so, so no. Finally, the game like gets super frustrated with me. It like goes through and it's like, your alter ego, and I'm like, technically no, keep going. And the next question it was, has this character had their throat slit? And I was like, this is the most threatening experience I have ever had. I swear to God, I felt attacked. I was like, it knows I'm talking about myself, and it's like, motherfucker, do you want to keep going?
Oh my god. So Akinator has threatened you. You can put that on your checklist.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So if I disappear, I pissed off an AI, and that's
Turned
why.
up with a slit throat. We know what
Yeah.
happened.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
God.
Oh man. Whew. So yeah, and also that's pretty representative of how I've been. So let's get that out of the way.
It's
But I'm very-
2020.
Yeah.
I think that's to be
It's
expected.
2020.
Yeah.
But you know what? Good news. Year's almost over. That's something to think about right there. That's a head scratcher.
Yeah, I've got.
Did this year even happen? Did this year even
mean,
happen?
It feels
No.
like
It's been
it
like
didn't.
something big and terrible every month, right? But have we gotten anything yet for August?
Yeah.
Well, fires
the
and
Postal
hurricanes.
Service,
Fair.
Fires,
Fair. Oh, yes.
hurricanes.
Two
Several
hurricanes hit Texas, so two
There-
hurricanes.
I mean, in Russia, the opposition candidate to Putin was put in the
Fair.
hospital, suspected of being poisoned. So
Yeah, he was in comatose, right? Or something like that.
yep.
Well, that's
Just-
what I get for asking.
To kind of
Sorry.
just for 1 second, because I was gonna say this and then I completely forgot because I was so wrapped up in Dylan somehow being threatened by Akinator. But the question that I always get asked now is, do they have COVID or are they suspected of having COVID?
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the question
God.
that it asks me every time I do something on that site now. I was like,
Damn.
no, they're fucking fictional, you asshole. Like
There is no COVID in fiction. Oh yeah, yeah. The is2020over.com website is real good. It's made by I think Rami Ismail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who's a game developer and just general cool dude. And currently at the top it says no, because 2020 is not over. But it also
Yeah.
keeps a
September,
list.
October, November, and December are all spoiler tagged, so you can't.
Yeah,
see what
they're like
happened.
redacted. Yeah, my birthday's next month. Hopefully that'll
Yay.
be
Mine
good.
Mine is imminent. Got a few weeks.
I
Woo!
watched a movie today while I was drawing while my baby was napping. And the movie was called Host. And it was a scary, like, found footage movie of people on a Zoom call doing a seance over the Zoom call during COVID in, like, lockdown.
It's
And
wild.
It's so good, wasn't it? It's like an hour long. It's like 54 minutes or something
It's
like that.
exactly the Zoom
Free
like,
meeting link.
free meeting length.
Oh my god.
That's how long it is.
Yeah.
And so the ending, you actually
Whew.
see it
It
counting
zoom
down.
ends. Yeah.
It's really interesting actually reading up on the making of it because
Hmm.
all the actors and everything had to do their own special stunts
Yeah.
and like lighting and setup. Like all of
Yeah.
this was
Wild.
done
Practically.
not
Wow.
practically in one take, like not exactly, but like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty close.
pretty close. It's pretty wild. It's a well done.
It's really well
movie.
done.
Considering the circumstances, because yeah, they just filmed themselves,
Yeah.
and it was just
But just something that I really enjoyed, and spoiler just a little bit, but two of the characters do meet up because they're neighbors. And while this like horrible, like people are dying, like shit's going down, they meet up with each other and they elbow bump and they're wearing masks because of COVID.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
so
man.
real. And they both kind of laugh because they're like, haha, there's a demon killing all of us, but like, haha, like it's so good. Like that particular part, I was like, that's
Oh, wow.
too real for me right now. They're all like at the beginning, they're all talking about being in lockdown and like living with parents and boyfriends and how we shouldn't have moved in together and blah blah blah. It was really good. So if you want something to watch,
I look forward to showing that to someone's kids in like 15 years and having them be like, why? What is happening? What? This is ridiculous. I'm like, no, this is real.
No, this really happened.
real life. They're gonna write about us in fucking history books. They're gonna be like,
God,
this is like the Black
unfortunately.
Plague, but
The Black Plague, but we had the internet.
the Black
Yeah.
Plague, but we had the
It
internet.
didn't have to be the Black Plague, but we sort of chose that it would be.
Yeah, we kind of, I guess, we wanted this to happen. No, we didn't want this to
But
happen.
yeah, like 2020 is
Yeah.
just that awful movie that you just go, there were too many plot points and plot twists and too
Yes.
many
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah, they had
Pick a
so many
lane,
subplots
people.
going. It was
Pick
really,
a fucking lane.
yeah, it was ridiculous.
like
Too
it
many
was just really
subplots.
confusing. Like the murder bee showed up and then it was never resolved.
It never got
Yeah.
spoken of. Like, what happened with that?
Did the
Hello.
fires ever go out? Like,
Welcome
where did
to,
that plot line
to
go?
2020 in Review, a podcast with the former cast of From Dust.
Okay, but maybe we
They
should
just
actually
started
do that.
pretending that COVID was over, but then it wasn't over. People were still wearing masks, I'm pretty sure. And there was riots the whole time.
Let's talk about a game. Let's talk about anything other than
Talk about a game.
2020.
Yeah.
Talk about
So-
anything else.
Okay, hello. This is a role-playing game. We're going to role-play in a little bit. Before we do that, let's talk about the game that we're going to be playing and the setting and some of the external stuff that we're doing here on the channel. First of all, we are using safety tools. We always use lines and donate $100 and we make this podcast. Don't
Yes.
tempt me. I'd do it. I'd do that. I'd do
If
that
you
for
ask me,
$100.
I
would
will
do
say
that.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I would do
Cool.
it for
Cool.
1/4 of $100.
I would do it for no dollars.
That's true. I would also do it, but I would prefer $25.
All right.
But I'll also do it for free.
The bid has been set, chat. We use safety tools here. We are using lines and veils. These lines and veils are not public, but do trust that we have them and we are keeping track of each other's safety here as players in a game together. We also use the X and an O cards here. The players have access to our Zoom chat where we can drop some X's, some N's, some O's, check in on each other, all that sort of thing. The four of us have played a lot of games together, and so we're pretty used to that sort of. I feel weird saying workflow. It feels a little too businessy, but fuck it. We're used to that process by now. But just so that y'all know that we are taking precautions, and this is not just a bunch of people fucking around willy-nilly. If the show goes somewhere that is uncomfortable for you as a viewer and you feel that it would be good for you to step away, please feel free to do so. Whether you're watching this live or on YouTube, if you want to step away for a bit and come back, or if you want to completely leave the like stop watching it, never come back ever again, that's totally okay. It is my goal that we create something that is interesting for you and engaging and fun, not to create an experience that you feel obligated to watch despite experiencing discomfort. So that's the safety stuff. It's IRONSWORN is maybe a Powered by the Apocalypse game. It uses a lot of the same structures. I hesitate to call it truly PBTA. But that means we go into this without a really solid vision of what an episode is going to look like, so I can't really give you super solid content warnings. And that's a big part of why I say that it's I want you to know that it's cool to bail. Speaking of IRONSWORN, it is a game by Sean Tompkin. The base game is absolutely free. You can snatch it off of itch.io and I think technically Drive-Thru-RPG. You can get the PDF for free. The printed version is not free because it costs money to make it. But the base game is free, and you can play it yourself whenever you want. There is an expansion, a supplement, called Delve, which adds some more dungeon and exploration-focused mechanics. That is not free. We are technically using some of the stuff from it. But I will do my best to not horribly confuse you as we play. And the same goes for the players at the table, because we're all new to this game. None of us have played it before. We will make mistakes. We will be learning alongside you. Please bear with us. But also, I don't know, feel no pressure to understand everything, because we definitely fucking don't. The only other thing as far as rules goes is that because we are playing in an existing setting that we have played games in before that has specific narrative rules like cosmology around how demons come into being, I wrote some custom homebrew rules to translate that narrative stuff into the IRONSWORN system. We will be playing with those rules, and you can find them on my itch.io for free under the 6th issue of the Patreon papers. It costs precisely $0.00 to download it and read it yourself if you are curious about how that works or you feel like putting it in your own game. Okay, so the setting itself, all you need to know is we will be playing in the world of Kulimba, which is technically the setting of the main From Dust campaign. We will be about 500 years before the main show, so quite some time. The historical context here is that about 80 years ago, word spread around the world that the gods of the main religion that people believed in were once real, but that they were sort of the captors and wardens of humanity and the various mortal peoples of the world in a time long, long ago when the mortal creatures or the mortal beings of the world were originally created by an ancient civilization called the Eldrin, who are now long dead. This news spreading around the world shook the foundations of the major faith of the world and led to a long period of unrest called the Reformation, where people were tearing down the Church of the Jewaki and the political systems that relied upon it. Cities fell into chaos. People left them fleeing for the countryside, creating smaller communities. To the north of where From Dust happens was the dwarven kingdom of Djupgard. When news of the nature of mortality and the Jewaki and the Eldrin spread, the dwarves shut their tunnels and closed themselves off from the rest of the world, while the kingdom just south of Djupgard, Dobavin, collapsed under the weight of chaos and unrest. Where we will be playing is a region known as the Ironlands that sits on the border between the old fallen kingdom of Dobavin and the sealed mountain country of Djupgard. This cold, rocky, icy frontier between what was once two nations and is now mostly just wilderness will form the backdrop of our story. And I think that's really all the context you need. So, let us settle in. And I think we open now on a sort of a sprawling grassy plain with hills and maybe the occasional shock of trees, and nestled in amongst one of these stands of trees as sort of like a windbreak is a small village. Thatch roofs, wooden walls, livestock milling about, and snow is falling around us. We can hear howling winds beginning to pick up. We can see as our camera glides in toward the village, people rushing to bring that livestock inside, and close down, secure windows, get things ready for a coming storm. And we move past the milling chaos of this village in disarray into a small tavern. It's a single story. There's a fire pit that runs low along the center of this long building, tables and benches to either side of it for seating and warmth. And in particular, we see 3 strange figures gathered together. Most of the people here are dressed ruggedly in animal hides and furs, rich embroidered fabrics barely showing beneath the sort of warmth securing garments. But these 3 carry with them bags and weapons, tools of travel. I would like to go around and have each of you describe your character a little bit. So, when our camera settles on Not, what do we see?
It's just a bird. No, I'm just kidding. No, but Not is very bird-like. I think that even though she doesn't have a beak or like wings or like feathers on her skin, there's something that's very like, when you look at her, you can't help but think of a falcon. And she's basically a very slight woman, very, very like, I mean, she looks like just about anybody could pick her up and throw her, right? And she is wearing a very like fitted kind of, it's like kind of would seem scaly black hide that's very like well fitted to her form, and on top of this she is wearing a kind of coat, although it doesn't seem to like, it's more of a fashion statement than it is like actually like protective against the cold. Like she looks like she'd go outside and freeze in 2 seconds. With like this like feathers kind of like ruffled off of her shoulders and down her arms. It's kind of just like a shawl that she's got wrapped around her, made out of these feathers, which are not very warm. She's got a very angular face with these bright gold eyes, and a smattering of freckles that are very similar in marking to a falcon's like breast. And then her hair, which I think, given travel and all of that, is kind of in a wild disarray. And there are parts of it that look as though they're kind of matted together, but you can see that there's really feathers that are tucked into her hair at these odd places that are held there by magical means. And she is, I think she's sitting in her chair with both of her legs pulled up, like, up to her chest. And probably has like a cup of something, whatever drink that they had on tap, that's just kind of clutched in front of her, and her eyes are just darting around, and she does this thing where she looks at a person for way too long, like to the point of not only have they noticed that she's looking at them, but they will notice multiple times that she is looking at them without blinking, like just a dead stare at this person. And then she kind of like tips her head and she'll go, and then she looks at another person, and she'll never look at that one person, the first person, again. They're just like, wait, was she okay, well, she's moved on, it's fine. It's enough to make you feel weird, but then to immediately forget that she ever looked at you in the first place. And yeah, I think she her companions would know that this is what she does at every new place. She looks at every single person, waiting for a sign that they might be the one. But so far has not found them.
I think we can see most of the people in this hall at this point, like actively avoiding looking at Not. And maybe we can see sort of like the last bits of snow melting off of your boots to give us an indication that y'all have been here for a couple minutes at least.
A minute, yeah.
But yeah, there's an air of nervousness that people have.
Yeah, she's not one to make you feel comfortable when it's not like a person that you're just easy around right from the get-go. I mean, like anyone who knows her knows that she's completely harmless, right? And actually very friendly, but it's this kind of intensity that she enters a room for the first time with that is very off-putting. And especially how little social awareness she seems to have when it comes to like eye contact or like reassuring body gestures, right? Like she doesn't even smile when they look at her, right? She's so intense.
There's not that awkward thing where you realize you're making eye contact
and then you kind of smile and you look away.
No, it's just yes, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I am looking at you. And thank you for looking back at me for a moment because that speeds up the process.
I am looking disrespectfully.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ash, did you order anything when you settled in here?
He ordered a cup of water.
Okay, so I think it
I'll
took
have
a second.
finest water, bartender.
I think it took a second because they probably had to just like, I don't know, melt some snow.
Whatever's on tap is also likely. He didn't specify. It's just something to drink was the order.
Okay. So we see a sort of gruff-looking man with scars crisscrossing his forearms, holding a pitcher and a wooden tankard, walk up and set them in front of Ash. And how does Ash receive this, and what does Ash look like?
He has taken his seat and is not doing much more than a quick glance around. We sort of see him almost hunched over, as if the tankard is missing at first, but once it's there, the picture is more complete. That he's just sort of hunched over it at the table. He's kind of clad all the way in black from neck to toe, gloves and all, mostly leathers and some combination of furs and armor. There's kind of a thick fur-laden mantle that makes him look a bit bigger than he actually is. And he's what we can see of his skin, he is ghostly white, like unhealthy looking pallor, and sort of jagged bone white hair about at chin length that looks like he probably hacked it himself with a dagger just to keep it from getting too long. It's rough. But the eyes that sort of peek out from under the fringe at his forehead are a bright red that is decidedly unsettling to look at. It's spooky. But he looked very, very gaunt and tired a little bit. And he only utters a simple "thank you" in response without looking up.
I think there's a moment where the person, the man handing you your beverage, waits because like I think he was trying to get a better look at your face, but with Ash not even like turning, he just sort of walks away. And as he walks away, our camera follows that movement to Verlin. What does she look like?
So Verlin's, if the others are clad in furs and scales, Verlin stands out in the fact that she wears long flowing robes, the base one being a black, but there's a overcoat on top of it, which is blue with some gold embroidery in the shape of peonies and other flowers upon it. And although there's this bright splash of color here. What's more striking is, although the rest of her features seem fairly plain, long black hair that is tied loosely into a braid that goes along her back. You go up that braid to first a plain black eye patch that goes over her left eye, and then her one exposed eye is that same color of green blue as her overcoat, but with a streak of gold that cuts through it. And even though her eyes appear piercing, she seems to gaze past people, whereas Not has been staring, and Ash had been avoidant. Verlin looks, but she seemed to be looking somewhere else, into a middle distance that there appears to be nothing but air. And there's an energy to her that, even though she appears, for most people, this might appear to look like daydreaming or drifting off. There's something to her that feels like you shouldn't bother her. And it's certainly helped along by the fact that there is a sword. While everything else has been put off to the side, this sword still sits on her lap. And it's a fairly plain-looking sword, just silver with a leather hilt. No decorations on it, as it is with her robe. But it sits there as her hand just kind of taps along the metal, almost absent-mindedly, but in a practiced way. You can see each tap is separated by an even amount, as if someone was trying to measure it, but she's not.
Dope. So welcome to the Don't Look at Them crew. This is our spooky ass party that we're starting with. And I think there's an air of stifled awkwardness that fills the hall. Whereas we can hear sort of the wind outside and the creaking of the wood walls as they settle and adjust in response to the wind and the cold. That's it. We would expect people to be talking and laughing. Maybe we hear some whispers, but it's just weirdly quiet. And we sit on that for an uncomfortable moment before the door bursts open. And we see a young woman step in, clearly not panicked, but anxious. She's wearing dyed black furs, and she has a bow and a quiver strung on her back, and a small like hunting knife at her hip. And she rushes up to the man that brought you your drink, Ash, who you sort of gathered as the person that runs this hall. And we can see her like walk quickly and with purpose up to him and like grab him by the shoulder to pull him to the side to talk to him. What do you do?
Not has just finished looking at the last person in the bar. It's taken pretty much the whole time that she's been here to evaluate everybody. So I don't think she's even noticed that someone has come in until she realizes that there's a new person here to look at.
I missed one.
Yeah, I missed one. But I think kind of like in passing, as her eyes like go towards the woman that has just burst in, she's like, "No, they're decidedly not here."
Do either of you say anything to that?
Did you just say that out loud to the room or to us?
Yeah, to the room. So I mean, to anyone who's listening. She more said it to herself, but like not in a hushed tone.
Yeah, Ash is sort of just watching. We sort of see him take a brief drink off of the tankard, and he makes a bit of a sour face, but I don't think anyone other than the other two at the table would really register it because they know why. But he sets it down and kind of glances over and watches. What do you think is going on?
Well, I'm sure we'll find out in just a few moments.
I was
She
hoping
seems
for
to be
some
in
time to
distress.
rest.
Well, Knott's already done her readings here. I don't see, other than the warmth, not much need to tarry here.
I suppose not. Should we go?
Well, give it a second.
And I think we follow Knott's eye line off of that comment over to the two having their conversation. And the man speaks up louder and says, "And who do you want me to send? Aurora's right. The crows know how to roost. They'll roost if they can."
Oh, we'll go. Not volunteers, having no context of what they're talking about.
Yeah, both of them turn to look to you with wildly different expressions on their faces. The man looking irritated and the woman looking relieved. And she steps forward. She's on the other side of the fire pit, but she steps up to the benches there to speak with you. I don't have much to offer, but if you could help. Let me explain. And
Please.
you see the man shooter will look like don't explain, don't involve these people in your bullshit. And she says, "Give it a rest, Frey. I'm a crow, a hunter. I was out with my party in the plains, and we saw that the blizzard was coming, and so we were setting into camp. I went to look for firewood, and when I came back, they were just gone.
Just gone?
No tracks, no note, nothing, just gone."
No signs of any struggle?
No, If I had known anything, I would have tracked them down myself. But I'm worried something unnatural might be out there.
Could I have a bit of your blood?
I think this might be our first roll.
Yay! Rolling!
Because that's a big ask.
Ash
Pick
will
a drop.
explain if she doesn't react too wildly immediately.
So let's talk a little bit about the game, because we're all new to this game. IRONSWORN is a really interesting game in that you can play it in a lot of different ways. You can play it single player, all by yourself, and it works just fine. You can play it co-op, where everybody is a player character together, or you can play it guided, which is more of what people I think would classically be familiar with a GM'd experience. We are playing guided, which means there are parts of the game that will call for you to consult the Oracle, and that's me. But because the game is structured to be playable on your own or on a completely co-op basis, the sort of hierarchy here is a lot flatter. If y'all want to call for rolls at any point, feel free to do so. If you want to tell me to stuff it, I guess feel free to do that too, but knowing this
Stuff
group,
it, Dylan.
that seems unlikely. But this feels sort of compel-y.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. I was gonna feel this feels very compel-y to me.
But there's another move that we can take a look at called Aid Your Ally, since Jess, you mentioned explaining what's going on.
Yeah. She's not just gonna take your blood just cause, like, she's got a plan here.
She's an oracle. She needs your blood to see stuff.
Yeah.
So does that need to be rolled before or after I roll?
I believe it comes before. So,
Okay.
and again, everyone, we're learning this for the first time. Bear with us while we do a little more rules
Give us a
reading.
fucking break.
Aid your ally says when you secure an advantage, which is a move, in direct support of an ally and score a hit, they, instead of you, can take the benefits of the move. If you are in combat and score a strong hit, you and your ally have initiative. We're not in combat. Secure an advantage says when you assess a situation, make preparations, or attempt to gain leverage in vision, which means just imagine, come up with, your action and roll. If you act with speed, agility, or precision, roll plus edge. Charm, loyalty, or courage, roll plus heart. Aggressive, action, forceful, defense, strength, or endurance, we would use iron. Deception, stealth, or trickery would be shadow. Expertise, insight, or observation would be wits. So how are you helping here? Like, what is it that Ash is doing?
This probably is classed as expertise, insight, or observation because he's basically stating the facts of what she's actually doing. Mm-hmm. He's not trying to be charming. He's just like, hey, look, she wants to do this thing to find out more. So, wits. Let's see.
First roll.
First roll.
Campaign.
No modifier, I don't think.
Ooh, a weak hit. Okay, so IRONSWORN has an interesting dice mechanic where you roll 3 dice. You roll 2d10 and a d6. If you take a look at the Roll20 chat here on the bottom right of your screen, you can see that there's the action score, which was the d6 plus a relevant stat, and then the challenge dice, which are the 2d10. If the action score is below both of the challenge dice, it's a miss. Mm-hmm. It's bad stuff happens. Yeah. If it's higher than one but less than the other, it's a weak hit, which is what we got here. And if Jess had rolled higher, had rolled a 10 somehow, then it would have been a strong hit.
So since I did score a hit, the aid your ally means that Summer can take 1 momentum, because on a weak hit I get 1 momentum.
Really?
That's what it said.
Where does it say that?
On a weak hit, your advantage is short-lived. Take 1 momentum. That's under secure advantage.
Yeah, you're right. I was misreading the move here.
Okay. Do I click on the dice or do I click on the name?
Well, first you should give yourself
Roll20.
+1 momentum.
Okay. Is that on the moves page?
It's at the bottom of your character sheet.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
It's at the bottom of every page.
So I'm up to +3.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
Okay. What do I do with that?
So momentum is a representation of how well you're doing in the adventure right now.
Okay.
And you can use momentum. You can burn momentum.
Okay.
To set it back to your reset score, which currently is 2. And in doing so, you negate any challenge dice that are equal to or less than your current momentum. So
it basically lets you potentially do better at a roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can burn it if I need to, kind of situation.
Yeah. So if you built up to, or even if you got the roll that Jess just got with your current momentum, you could negate the 3, which functionally wouldn't help here. But if you rolled like a 1, you could take that from a miss to a weak hit.
Yep. Sure. Cool. Okay. And then do I hit the move itself or do I hit the dice? Can I click either one of them?
I don't know these character sheets.
I'm gonna hit the compel first and see if it gives me a definition.
Yeah, when you go to compel, it'll give you a definition. There's a tiny button above it that says roll. That's what you do to roll.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
I actually really like these character sheets.
I like fantastic. That. I was afraid to click it, but now that I have, I'm glad I did. Okay.
Clicking the move will take you to the details.
This is great. Wow, I like that a lot. Okay. I'm very scared, but here I go. Whee! I clicked it, but nothing happened. I'm again. Oh, wait, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's going to prompt you for stuff.
Okay, wait. Okay, so if you charm, pacify, or barter, threaten, or incite, lie, or swindle, I'm rolling with heart. I'm not charming. I'm conveniencing her, basically. Like, I'm going to give you some shit.
You're pacifying, I think.
Yeah, pacify.
Because her initial
Convince, not
you're
convenient.
you're like hey, can I have some of your blood? And most people's reaction to that is that sounds bad. Both in terms of like blood is a thing that you keep inside you, but also like people are familiar with magic
That seems
and
like
mysticism
bad magic juju happening.
Yeah, so you're moving past her initial alarm, I think.
Okay, and my modifier is 0.
Yep.
Mitt.
Ooh, you miss as fuck.
Yeah.
they
Burning momentum would not have
refuse-
helped.
They
No.
refuse or make a demand which costs you greatly, and you
Sure.
have to pay the price.
Oh my god.
So when you suffer the outcome of a move, we choose one, make the most obvious negative outcome happen, envision 2 negative outcomes, rate 1 is likely, yada yada yada. Basically, it's like pay the prices, something bad happens to you, and we have to decide what it is.
Okay.
So
Listen, here's the deal. I'm willing to miss and just her not give me her blood because it doesn't really hurt anybody but her.
right,
Because that's the bad thing that happens, right? Like I can't help her as efficiently as I could have.
yeah, I think she refuses and recoils a bit. And I think sort of the negative consequence here is it's gonna cost you that one momentum that you just gained, and you're gonna go back to 2.
That's fine.
That's because it sort of halts
We've
the momentum that you're
effectively
building up.
lost any footing that we just had.
Yeah.
As little as it was.
Yeah.
And she steps back, and I think Verlin, you can see that she's about to like maybe rescind the request for help, but we're a little past the hour, and before we find out how the party salvages the situation and moves on, we are going to take a 10-minute break. We're going to step away for about 10 minutes, and when we come back, we will see how our heroes, our spooky characters, carry this journey forward. See you soon. Hello, and welcome back to episode 1 of From Dust, Before It Settled, where 2 of our 3 spooky people have thoroughly creeped out this poor huntress. And Verlaine, you can see the window of opportunity closing. What do you do?
Yep. Verlin probably finally stands up at this point. She's not super tall. She's very average height. But the way that she stands, extremely not quite rigid, but with a matter of poise. As she sets the sword down off of her lap. And she kind of inclines her head towards the crow. My apologies. You said that you feel this is a supernatural occurrence?
She's taken back by the sort of like emotional whiplash of "Give me your blood. I'm so sorry." And so she like takes a moment to collect herself and replies, "It's the only answer that I have. Even the most experienced hunters leave tracks, especially in the snow, but the only tracks were mine."
Well, the 3 of us have experienced with those things that are not normally usual occurrences. As you can tell, Not here is a practitioner of such magics at times.
I can see the future.
She looks at you with suspicion. Not. I think she's not made up her mind on Verlin yet, but she's definitely made up her mind on Not, and she thinks you're spooky.
Yeah.
Crows fly, don't they?
It's just a name. We're not.
What my companion and I can provide is an investigation into this, if you would like, if that's what you're asking for.
I have some supplies I can offer you. She like takes a look at your packs and stuff, correctly assessing that you, as a group, are travelers. That should make getting through the foothills easier.
That would be appreciated. The easier our job is, then hopefully the more answers we can find for you.
Right. I meant as payment in return for your services.
So be it. If you would be grateful, we will look into this for you.
I can show you where we were making camp.
Please.
I must ask something in addition to what you offered us.
She narrows her eyes.
That you would try very hard to like me.
Oh.
Babby!
Ash just puts a hand on Not's shoulder very gently.
I kind of want you to compel again.
Okay, I'll try my best. I'll try. I'm guessing this is heart.
I
Not
don't know.
lying
Is
or
it?
swindling.
I-
It's not
it seems
threatening
like
and
you're
inciting. It's not
charming.
lying or swindling.
Like, please like me. Be my
Please.
like
friend.
me. Just
Please!
like me. Please,
Just
1%
try.
like me.
Just
Please
try to
try.
like me.
Okay.
Oh, poor baby.
We can.
A weak hit. Okay, there you go.
They asked me for something in return.
On a weak hit as above, so they'll do what you want and share what they know. So she'll agree.
Okay.
And you take +1 momentum.
Yay!
So good for you. But they ask something of you in return. Envision what they want. What do you think she wants? Like, what does she want from you in order to agree to, like, put in some effort to like, set aside her initial impression?
God, I would say to be less weird, but I don't know that somebody
Yeah.
would like straight up ask me to be less weird. I feel
Maybe
like
stop
it would be
staring?
implied. Yeah, I feel like they would say okay, but the implication would be there of me being less weird.
I think I like Jess's suggestion of
Stop staring at people.
She asks you to. Okay, but if you could stop staring at me, that would help.
Oh, you're not the one. I don't mind.
She just looks confused. We should move quickly before the blizzard sets in.
Please, let's go.
And Frey, the man, is going to step forward, and stop you, Verlin, I think. Because
Okay.
he's sort of decided you're in charge based on how that exchange went.
Incorrect.
Nobody's
Yeah,
in charge
we're
here.
really not in charge here.
Stranger. If they are in danger, your help obviously is appreciated, but we can't afford to lose Fauna. If things go sideways, and you have to take her out of there and back here, I will be sure you are compensated for keeping her safe.
All right.
If they're dead, They're dead. Leave them to rot. Hers is a life you can save.
Berlin's a little like, I think the internally a little taken aback. It's just like,
Yeah. We just
All
hear
right,
a little
dude.
bit of leather creaking as Ash's hand closes on his sword hilt, just a tiny bit more.
yeah.
Is there something in that rings a little like familiar to Verlin? I mean, I think we definitely get that impression from Ash.
I think there's something about this where it's like the favoritism with no real explanation that kind of weirds her out. Just because that kind of how her previous group would function sometimes, where it's just like, you're the favorite now, and there's no explanation for why, and so she's kind of just, I think she's taken aback by it, but there's no real change in her expression. Maybe it's just a shift in her positioning where you can kind of hear the floorboards creak a little bit as her weight moves from her towards the back of her feet.
Okay. And so for those of you playing along at home, or hopefully not playing, that sounds like a lot of work. We are normally at this point, someone would swear an iron vow to make a quest the players are on, but you start the game with some vows, and this situation is one of the vows that everybody started with. So that's why that move isn't being triggered here. Don't worry. That said, you are about to I forget what it's called in this game. Go places. You're gonna go to a place, and there's a move. Undertake a journey. There we go. So this game sort of works in like, we've got the moves stuff, which are pretty standard to Powered by the Apocalypse games, but there are specific moves that create tracks or little like timelines, boxes you can fill up that measure your progress toward a thing. Combat works that way, journeying works that way, quests work that way. And I think when you travel across hazardous or unfamiliar lands, first at the break of the journey, I think this is a travel across both hazardous and unfamiliar lands. Because as you step out of the hall, the door swings itself open with the force of the wind, and whereas when you first entered this village, the streets were busy with people who sort of looked at you a little strangely. Now the streets are completely empty and slowly filling with snowdrifts. And the terrain you're going to be crossing, while normally relatively mild, with the force of the growing blizzard and the snow covering the landscape, I think it's becoming somewhat perilous. So I would like us to, on the group tracks character sheet, if we could add a progress track that's, I think, troublesome because it's not very far, and label it I don't know, trek to the hunter camp or the crow camp or something like that, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so much like Apocalypse World and other Powered by the Apocalypse stuff, we don't say we're doing a thing and then roll some dice. Narrative happens. So we're not going to say we're walking somewhere and then roll dice to see how the walking somewhere goes. We're going to travel for a bit, and then someone will roll to ooh, wait, hold on. If you're setting off from a community with which you share a bond, add +1. We're not doing that. Okay. So yeah, as we pass milestones on this journey, we will roll to see if we make some progress. And at any point, you can just say that you reach the destination, and there's a reach the destination move. The only caveat is that the more progress you have in the track, the more likely you are to actually reach your destination without complications and problems. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn into a bird.
Yeah.
Okay, so you step outside, the three
Yeah.
of you, or the four of you rather, and Fauna turns to check and make sure that you're following, and Not turns into a bird.
I probably turned into a bird while she wasn't looking because I didn't want to be weird because
Because she doesn't want you to be
I want her to
weird.
like me.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm probably already perched on like Ash's shoulder as a
Mhm,
hawk.
Mhm.
It's basically
Um,
like, oh, I guess your hawk was waiting outside, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She
Where's that
turns.
girl you were with?
She turns back and yeah, she says, "Where's your companion?"
Flaps
Don't worry,
wings.
she'll be along.
Like hi, but obviously doesn't say anything.
I'm gonna roll some dice to see if she can understand what's just happened. Where do I keep my dice these days? On this disaster of a desk that I have.
Preening, fixing my feathers.
Nice.
Oh, ruffle.
Scritches.
Yeah. Happy verb. Not definitely likes being a bird better than she likes being a person because she can look at whoever she wants.
And nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody says boo.
No one's like, ah.
Oh, I don't like that.
Okay, so I need some d10s. And.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Okay, what is that from? Because I recognize that, but. I
It's
don't-
from a bloopers of Parks and Recreation where John Ralphio and Mona Lisa are sneaking away from John Ralphio's funeral, and they both start singing a "Don't Be Suspicious" song. But then Mona Lisa's the one who actually says like the "Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious." It's weird that it traveled as far as it did.
Love that. All right.
I
let's
only
see.
know that because I also had to look it up the other day.
A 4 and a 6, and she has no idea.
Cool.
That's a 1 on the action die. So
Yay!
Awesome. So Ash has just acquired a bird.
yeah,
It's fine.
And
Don't worry about
have
it.
disregarded a person.
yeah. And what was Ash's answer?
He basically said like, "Don't worry, she'll be
I'll
along."
catch up.
Yeah. It was kind of like, "Don't worry, she'll catch up. Let's just go."
She sort of nods nervously, and then pulls her cloak close to fend off the wind and starts heading off into the snow. And to your best bearings, any direction could be north, west, south, or east. Who knows? It's all just a vast white expanse that is steadily shrinking as the wind picks up speed and your field of view gets closer and closer.
Knots going up. Big up.
Okay. Yeah.
Gonna fly. I mean, obviously I turned into a bird for a reason. But it's because hawks are very far seeing. So when I undertake a journey, or resupply, I get to add +1 as a verb. So she's going to basically try and get a hawk's eye view. Not an eagle.
Okay. Do you feel like that's attempting to do something risky by flying up high in the middle of this growing storm?
I guess it would depend on how high she was going up. If you felt that I was not going to be any longer, like to actually get a good bird's eye view, if I was going to have to basically leave my party, like they would be out of sight, obviously. Then I don't mind rolling that. I guess you would try and play it as close as she could to get a good look without
I
actually
think
leaving them.
with the low visibility, like your ability to go up high and see far is going to be hard, and it would be more likely that you have to like do loops and come back, sort of thing. But I think what really makes it risky is the winds, right? I mean, most birds when storms pick up, they shelter in place. They don't fly around because you'll get fucked up.
Yeah, I obviously in the baseline IRONSWORN, I just have a bird that just automatically gives me the +1 that does it.
Right.
So I don't want to get separated from them because of my asset, if that makes sense.
That's not a thing that I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm more thinking because, like, if you were doing this with a bird companion, your bird would be in danger of being hurt by you telling it to fly around.
Okay.
And that's sort of what I'm proposing here.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
So.
Yeah. So you said face danger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When you attempt something risky or react to an imminent threat.
Yeah. I think I'm doing this. I'm trying to decide if I want to do it quickly or if I want to do it carefully. Because obviously I think agility, trying to like circle back to them quickly so I don't lose them. But also I would really want to like actually see what's going on here.
Like
with
observe.
Observation. So I think, let me see what I'm better at. Because if I'm willing to take less information if I can actually
if you can do a better swoop.
If I can do a better swoop. Let's see. My wits is great. Wow, I'm so smart. Okay, so I'll do that. I'll use the expertise insider observation. All
right.
Wits.
Let's get that roll.
Match wits with the wind.
And I get a +1. No, I don't. Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Not until I undertake the journey. A weak hit.
An 8. So that is still a weak hit because IRONSWORN is brutal and ties do not count. Ties go to the challenge dice. So on a weak hit, you succeed but face a troublesome cost. Suffer 1. You are delayed, lose advantage, or face a new danger, and suffer -1 momentum. You are tired or hurt, endure harm. You are dispirited or afraid, endure stress, or you sacrifice resources and suffer -1 supply.
I'll suffer the momentum.
Okay.
The -1.
So we see Knot lift off from Ash's shoulder, and she disappears for some time, and it's just sort of like the three of you trudging through the snow, and I think after a minute, Fauna looks back and sees that you don't have a bird on your shoulder anymore, and she stops to say, I feel like we're losing people.
She's gone to look around. It's dangerous, but she's good. Don't worry.
Where are you from? If you don't mind my asking.
South, right?
Yes.
Very, very south.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to say that you were from the City of Towers, she would know what that means, but also she would know what that means if you say that, so your call.
Okay. Sure. Near the City of Towers.
Oh. Is it true that the city is still there?
Yes.
That must be so strange, seeing so many people in one place.
Yeah, you grow used to it. Or you leave town, like I did.
She looks at you.
He doesn't look like he's been inside a city for a long time.
Yeah, she gathers some subtext. She's not sure what it is, but she sees that it's there, and she's like, okay. Well, it's fortunate that you arrived when you did.
We will do our best to help, if we can.
Priests or no, it seems that Joaki still keep an eye out every once in a while.
He is kind of like scanning the sky a little bit to there's not worry on his face, but he's watching to see if Not is ever gonna come back.
Nope, never. She's dead.
All right, time to roll a new character. Let's go.
We just see a frozen bird land in the snow.
Fall out of the sky.
Verlin, do you have any? Do you participate in this conversation at all, or are you just happy to let it pass you by?
Just kind of happy to let it pass by. I think there's a brief moment where her mind goes, although her eyes are still focused on the road ahead, her mind kind of goes to the sword, as if to probe to see if someone has something to say about this.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
that's
it's
right. We're a party of 4, aren't we?
technically sort of. We always have to have a magical intelligent weapon.
It's the From Dust brand.
I think Bastien expresses some concern. Maybe not concern.
It's not really
Caution.
words. Yeah, it's not
Caution,
really words
yeah.
that they could mostly communicate through. It's mostly just like feelings.
You feel secondhand anxiety.
Yeah.
But she referenced the old gods in a favorable light, which, I mean, there are obviously some people that still hold to the beliefs of the old church, but it's rare that people are so outspoken about it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I think with that, like, Verlendra very discreetly like pats the sword. Which probably got some level of reaction of the emotional equivalent of I'm your elder, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't patronize me.
Yeah. You don't know shit, whippersnapper.
This sword is much older than she is, and the spirit within it is as old, if not older, than the sword itself.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Yep.
I love that.
So, not as you circle around.
Yeah.
I think the 3 on the ground get to a sort of a frozen over creek bed. That's a bit of a landmark, and since you were specifically flying up to undertake this journey, I think you can lead the move on that one.
Okay.
So you'll
It
be
just
rolling.
automatically goes to wits, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For each segment of your journey, roll plus wits, and then you will have a +1 because you are a burb.
I'm a Barbie. Weak hit.
Weak hit. Okay. On a weak hit, you reach a waypoint and mark progress, but suffer -1 supply. So go ahead and click
mark.
the mark button. Yeah.
Okay,
So
I got
and
it.
that. So if you're playing with a physical character sheet, you do little like slash marks, and it's real easy to understand how they work because you need 4 marks in a box to fill it up. Trying to make that work in Roll20 proved difficult, apparently, for the people actually making the sheet. So the workaround they have is there is a dash for 1 tick, a plus for 2 ticks because it's 2 lines, an asterisk for 3 because it's 3 lines, and then the number sign hashtag or Octothorpe, if you want the actual name for it, as 4 lines, which marks a filled box. If you were to be like, we have reached our destination and we triggered that move right now, it would be a 3 versus our challenge dice. It's the number of completely filled boxes against whatever challenge dice are rolled. So, that's how that works. You have suffered -1 supply, though, and I think what that looks like is as you're returning to the party and as the party is moving down into this like slight depression in the earth, there's I think maybe we need to use some ropes to climb down, and they snap like just as you're reaching sort of the bottom of the steeper side of the ravine, and that's gonna take some effort to replace. In IRONSWORN, we typically assume that the players just have whatever adventuring materials they need to adventure. There's no like strict inventory of things, but supply is sort of the representation of those items and your food and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think your equipment takes wear here. If that sounds good to everybody.
Yeah. Thankfully, as a burb, I can also help us resupply, but I'm not going to do it yet because if I, for some reason, did get a strong hit or even a weak hit, we can take up to 2 supply on our resupply roll. So I'm not going to roll that yet, but I have a +1 to that as well.
And also now would be a really weird time to be resupplying.
Yeah, we just started.
All right.
Yeah, so I think Not circles back, but she's like staying low with them, but she's not turning back into a person.
You don't land. Okay.
No. I'll just drift on the currents, kind of like a kite, just above them, hanging out.
All right, and the Fauna will continue carrying you forward through the landscape. For Lynn, I think you can catch that she's getting a little nervous, a little uncertain about the path. The wind is picking up, and it's reaching a point where if you don't find what you're looking for soon, you're just going to have to make camp wherever you are. And she's growing worried. What do you do?
I think at this point, Verlin will speak up. How much further in do you think we need to go?
It shouldn't be far. Another 10 minutes, maybe?
And do you know good potential campsites close to there in case we need to stop?
Well, we were settling in for camp, so if we can make it there, that should be fine.
Right, let's make haste then.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. Like, she's been following a fairly straight path. I think it's clear the direction that you're going. If you want to let her maintain the lead, you may. If you want to take the lead, you may. What is your inclination?
I think Verlin wants to continue letting her lead.
Okay.
She knows the area best, and doesn't want to seem presumptuous.
Yeah. Ash is fairly staying in step, probably not quite alongside her, but a little ways behind, sort of keeping an eye out and around.
Yeah, and you, Captain Hypervigilance, are becoming painfully aware of the state of the weather. It has gone from, like, you can see out a little ways to pretty soon you're going to have trouble seeing Fauna at the front of the group. Like, it's not good.
Yep.
And that means that if there is something out there in the snow,
It's going to be real hard to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fine. Truly.
Okay. I think after a couple more minutes, we can come upon a boulder that Fauna like quickly perks up as like, okay, I have not led us in the wrong direction. I have a landmark. We're good. And if someone would like to undertake a journey again, you may do so.
Do you want to, Fearlin? You've been keeping pretty close tabs to her.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
I think you can get the +1 aid from
me.
From Burb.
Yeah,
I'll allow
okay.
it.
Go ahead.
Borb.
Okay. Now this is me learning.
Yeah.
That'll be the undertake
Where
a journey
things are.
move.
Yeah. It's under adventure moves at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Undertake a journey.
Go ahead and roll it.
We're on troublesome, right?
Yeah.
I think.
So
Yes.
when you mark it, because we have troublesome marked, if you just hit mark, it will automatically mark the 3 progress. So all you really need to do is roll and see if we hit or not.
Yep. These characters.
Sorry,
sheets are
what?
good. Just roll them.
Do you see the roll at the top of Undertake a Journey?
Yep.
Click that.
Yep.
You roll with wits.
Mm-hmm.
Add +1. And your
Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Opportunity.
Boom! A strong hit.
Hey.
Woo! On a strong hit, you reach a waypoint. If the waypoint is unknown to you, envision it. We've already established that it is a boulder of some kind. You make good use of your resources, mark progress, or you move at speed, mark progress, and take +1 momentum, but suffer -1 supply.
We're just gonna go with the safe option, I think.
You're just gonna mark progress?
Yeah.
All right. And would you like to... Does this journey take longer, or would you like to reach your destination?
We're rolling, 6 dice against...
You're not rolling any dice. It's your action score is 6.
Right,
And then
okay.
we roll the 2d10.
Yeah, we roll the challenge dice and compare.
Mm-hmm.
And we
That's what I
can't do
meant.
anything with momentum on it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so the challenge dice are 2d10 versus 6.
Yes.
Ooh.
I feel like we should try and go at least one more
Yeah.
tick
Okay.
to get it to 9.
I think at this point, we are at the top of an hour, so we're about to take a break. But before we do, the blizzard has cut off visibility beyond about 3 feet, and I'm going to need each of you to face danger to maintain your place in the group.
Okay.
And really to persevere through the blizzard itself. So decide how you were doing that.
I'm assuming endurance makes sense for me.
That tracks, yeah. Just pressing on.
Yep.
Pull that cloak close and keep walking.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to do mine by having followed many a person before because I'm kind of up above them. I'm just keeping my eyes on them, so I'm going with wits.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah, strong hit.
Ooh.
Good verb.
Good verb.
Momentum.
Yeah, take +1 momentum. Oh shit, I forgot. We're playing with an optional rule from Delve. Somebody's missed a move tonight, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who missed? Not.
Yeah, what?
You missed. On the summary page, there's a failures track. Put a tick in there.
I will. A whole tick?
A whole tick.
Cool, I will.
Not a full box, just one tick.
Oh, okay. I'll put one whole tick in there.
Just one little line.
Yep, I got it. I put it in there.
Cool. The failure rules from Delve let us... Oh, dear. Oh, no, Verlin. The failure rules from Delve work like a progress track and a progress move. There just is a progress move that lets you reflect on your past failures. And if you succeed on that move, you get experience for it.
Cool.
Verlin, which stat were you using, may I ask?
Iron.
Iron. So you were using aggressive action, forceful defense, strength, or endurance. Cool. You fail, your progress is undermined by a dramatic and costly turn of events. Pay the price. Oh no. We got a weak hit for Ash. So on a weak hit, choose. You are delayed, lose advantage, or face a new danger, suffer -1 momentum. You are tired or hurt, endure harm. You're dispirited or afraid, endure stress. Or you sacrifice resources, suffer -1 supply.
I feel like enduring harm makes sense here.
Yeah.
This is tiring as fuck.
So you suffer -1 health, I believe it says.
Okay.
But then
Down
endure
4.
harm itself is a move. So
Interesting.
when you face physical damage, suffer -health equal to your foe's rank or as appropriate to the situation. In this case, you're losing 1. If your health is 0, suffer momentum equal to any remaining minus health. Your health is not 0, you're not dying, you're good. Then you will roll plus health or iron, whichever is higher.
Okay.
Which I think is your health.
Yeah, health is higher right now. Okay. So, all right. Here we go.
How bone chilling is that chill? Oh, you're good. On a
Strong hit.
choose one. If your health is greater than 0, suffer a -1 momentum in exchange for +1 health. Or embrace the pain and take +1 momentum.
I will embrace the pain.
Hell yeah.
So what does this look like to have you, like, the chill is obviously, like, it's actively harming you. But you push through regardless, with some form of grim determination.
I mean, imagine a corpse in the cold. That's roughly what he looks like these days.
Cool.
That ain't frostbite. That's worse. He looks worse. And he's probably moving a good bit slower and stiffer.
Knott's feathers are gorgeous right now. She's like glistening in snow. She's a pigeon. She's a red-tailed hawk, so it's like gorgeous, bright color against the snow.
I think maybe you, like, flew up above the storm or some shit. You're just like,
I'm just like
I'm
above
fine.
the clouds, like
Yeah.
in heaven, like woo!
Yeah.
Cold don't bother me, bitch.
And we begin to see the vague shapes of trees around you as you're drawing close, hopefully to your destination. But it is this point, as Fana takes a break with a hand against a tree, sort of to steady herself and give herself a sense of space, that the two of you realize that Verlin is not with you.
Oh,
And
fuck.
with that, we are going to step away to our final break of the night. Going to be gone for about 10 minutes, and when we return, you'll find out what has happened to Verlin. See you
Oh
soon.
dear.
Hello and welcome back to the final hour of episode 1 of From Dust, Before It Settled. Around you, Verlin, the wind is howling. You thought you had a firm grasp on where you were in relation to Fana and Ash, but in a moment where your foot slipped and you had to check your footing and make sure that you had a grasp on Bastien, of course, but also the rest of your gear, when you looked back up, there was no sign of your traveling companions. You are well and thoroughly separated from your compatriots. What do you do?
Great. It's fine.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
You would know, having traveled with Not a long time, you can whistle. Like, a whistle travels further than a yell, a really high-pitched whistle. And you know, because considering she's in her bird form, she has expert hearing. So I would say that if you would know that if you get separated from Not, whistling in the past, maybe not in these conditions, I don't think we've ever been in these kind of conditions before, but in the past, whistling for her would be a way for her to find you more quickly.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense for their background and the fact that they've been traveling for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's probably something the group has agreed upon as
If
a
you get lost,
hey, I'm
whistle.
lost signal.
Yeah. Because she can fly to you faster than anybody could walk, right?
If Not gets lost, well, oh well.
Oh, we just whistle for her and hope that she
Yeah.
can find us.
If you lose Not, whistle. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think
So
there's a
here-
move we can roll here realistically, because like there's an actual blizzard happening right
Yeah,
now. Like
well,
it's not
not
just kind of
for-
snowing, but
Maybe not for Verlin, but for me, I can try and track Verlin down.
right. We'll get to Not figuring out that Verlin is gone and sorting through that later, but I think for now, Verlin, what do? Do you attempt to whistle?
Probably. It's just that first instinct.
Yeah. And I think at first there's nothing but the storm. And it's reaching a point where if you were to stretch Bastien at full length, you might have trouble seeing the tip. And you need to press on or settle in or do something. Decisive action is needed.
Probably press on. 'Cause...
Okay. I
didn't
think...
like turn around, did you?
I think we might be facing danger again.
I was gonna suggest possibly securing an advantage by whistling.
Ooh.
Which is assessing a situation, making preparations, or attempting to gain leverage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could be potentially helpful. Because then you can make another move right now and add +1 if you take control on a strong hit.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be helpful in A, you going in the right direction, and potentially me finding you.
I suppose. I will admit I'm having some significant difficulty with the idea of being able to whistle over the sound of a blizzard at any given distance. Like, even just talking to someone, like yelling to someone in the middle of a blizzard is difficult.
Yeah.
If you're insistent on it, I'll let it go, and that'll be what happens. But it just
magic exists is a thing.
Magic exists, but Verlin doesn't have. Does Verlin have magic whistles?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay. Is there anything Verlin can do to affect this circumstance? Because it sort of sounds like no, other than maybe dig in the snow and just chill.
I mean, you could continue moving forward in the hope that you find the right direction. You could search for traps or tracks with gather information. You could, settle in is an option.
Okay. I think then it's probably searching for any signs of the direction to go, whether that's tracks or even just going like the slope that we were heading, because we were going
basically to like reorient yourself.
Yeah.
Or you're at least going the way we were supposed to go.
Yeah.
Also, I definitely don't mean to be that bitch, but I will be right now. Which is, a whistle is an emergency item in a blizzard because it can be heard above the wind.
Okay, I guess, if Verlin has a whistle in her gear, which she may, that is not up to me, that's up to you deciding, then yeah, you've got a good point. When you search an area, ask questions, conduct an investigation, or follow a track, you roll plus wits. You are not acting within a community or asking questions of a person with whom you share bonds, so you don't get a +1.
All right, so just wits then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Weak hit.
Weak hit. On a weak hit, the information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger.
Great.
And you will take +1 momentum. So I think you can assess. You can assess the sort of the slope. I like that idea that you assess the slope and are like, we were going in roughly this direction, but you do come across a trail of tattered leathers that veer off toward the left.
Oh, that's fun. Well, I know this likely did not belong to my friends, but I'm interested. So I think she's gonna follow the trail a little bit, and just like not didn't want to go too far, but she does want to follow it because she knows that at least she can come back to where she started following it. So.
Oh, and you can see that the leathers, it's mixed in with fur, and it's all dyed black.
Okay.
Not dissimilar to the clothes that Fauna is wearing.
Right. Okay.
That's not hidden information. You can recognize that pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So so I'm gonna follow that trail. Probably no longer than a few minutes if it goes that long.
I don't think it does. I think you
Okay.
you can move maybe 30 seconds and just vaguely you begin to pass into some trees, which are helping with the visibility, cutting down the wind a little bit, and off maybe 10 feet away, but obscured still by the snow and the storm. You can see the shape of a person next to one of the trees up ahead.
In what position is this person? Are they standing, crouching, lying down?
They're standing.
Okay. Yeah, Verlin's gonna call out probably.
You call out, and you see the head turn toward you, and I think there's an abatement of the wind just a little bit, and you get a clear view as the head was bent away from you, and it lifts up, and you see a pair of antlers in silhouette before it turns to look at you, and you see a figure with sort of scratch marks across their body, and sort of the hanging tatters around their waist of like a belt, maybe a hunting knife as well. Their eyes are pure white, and growing from bloody spots in their forehead are a pair of antlers. And we are going to cut over to the rest of the party.
Great!
Ash, you have realized that Verlin is missing. And I imagine it doesn't take very long for Not to pick up on that either.
Yeah, I mean,
Fauna-
I'm amazing, so my help was awesome.
Yeah, Fauna swears when she realizes that one of your party has disappeared again.
Can I show up? Can I just be a person again really quick, before she turns around? Like, I just want to spook her a little, just like 1%.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
It's like, it's just convenient timing that I've landed to be like, oh my god, Verlin is missing. And then she happens to turn around and like, here I am standing in the middle of the blizzard right with you. Like, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, I think she turns and realizes that Verlin isn't there and is beginning to say, like, where is she? And then she sees you.
Yeah, Ash looks decidedly concerned. Has also sworn. And
Fuck, shit, damn, shit, fuck,
yeah,
where is she?
is sort of starting to backtrack, and he kind of passes by Not and is like, did you see her anywhere? On your way?
No, I didn't, but I could go look for her.
Damn it.
You
We
all
need to
should
find
keep
her.
moving forward. It's okay.
Her lost out there? That's not okay.
If she's lost, it was meant to be this way.
There you go on that again. We need to find her.
And we will find her. You all need to continue on the path that you were very clearly on, and I will go find Verlin.
Will you be alright?
Of course I will be. I can see much farther than you can.
Of course you can. Fauna? Let us keep on our path.
If we stray too far from it, we risk getting lost ourselves. I suppose.
Indeed, and we need to keep you safe.
She gives you a look like, excuse me?
He just trudges on ahead.
It's that,
You
that fine.
can't
Excuse me, I'm
before
fucking
nightfall.
12.
If you can.
Okay.
And if you could light a fire, doesn't matter how small. I can give you some matches if you'd like.
I trust I'll be able to light a fire.
We can manage.
If you're sure.
She's vacillating between too many emotions right now to really just settle on one, and so I think she settles on moving on.
I'm going to give Ash quietly a pack of matches.
Thank you. He just pockets them without saying anything.
Yeah.
But he puts a hand on her arm. If I don't see you coming back within the next 10 or 20 minutes, I'm going to whistle. All right?
I'll be listening.
You better. Be careful.
What? I will be. You be careful. You're the one who can freeze.
Already halfway there. He just turns and heads off to
She
keep
just
track of
becomes a
Rhonda.
bird and is gone. Like,
And she's off.
and she's a bird.
Okay, so Ash, would you like to undertake a journey to
Sure.
progress
Because I
even
need to
further?
make sure our friend is also safe, so I guess he
Yeah,
gets
for
to
sure.
hang with her and do a protect.
Probably not the +1 since I'm going in a different direction at this
Yeah.
point, right? Yeah, that makes sense.
Roll plus wits, I guess.
Mhm.
Is that what I'm doing?
Yep.
Okay.
How witty is our boy?
Not even a little bit.
Oh dear.
He's got the wits of a butt.
He has the wits of a
It's
tree stump.
Real
Yeah,
easy to
love
keep your
that.
wits about you when you don't have very many.
Yeah,
Mhm.
seriously.
However,
Yo!
However, though.
All right, you reach a waypoint. If the waypoint is unknown to you, envision it, or ask the oracle if unsure. Then choose one. Make good use of your resources and mark progress, or you move at speed, mark progress, and take +1 momentum, but suffer -1 supply. So you're gonna mark progress either way, but it's whether you're
Yeah.
trading supply.
So we're at
supply
9
for
out of 10,
momentum.
which is
or-
awesome. Now
Yeah.
seems like the time to roll
should
that.
we go ahead and burn a supply and take
Let's
a
just do it.
momentum?
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay,
Cool.
so
That's-
Ash marked momentum.
Yep. And then, did we mark supply down?
Yeah.
I did. It's down to 3.
Cool.
And I think perhaps in your haste, there's just some lost provisions that are lost to the storm.
Yeah,
Sure.
it makes sense that with Ferlin getting separated and like all that stuff,
Mhm.
that shit was lost, you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So the waypoint in question is what that was it the boulder or something or the camp itself?
You get to envision what this waypoint is. We find
Okay.
some recognizable location that is
Okay.
presumably, given that I think we're about to roll reach your destination, it's like the
Mhm.
last thing before you get there.
The last thing.
And you can decide what it is, or you can ask me to do
Do it.
it. Okay.
Oracle. Do it.
Do it.
Dance, little
Vanilla,
oracle, dance. I think there was a Fana left her pack behind when she realized that like her flock was missing. She sort of dumped her supplies before setting off, or like she set off and then realized that if she wanted to make good time, she had to dump her supplies. And you find like
So
her
she just
pack.
like left that stuff in
Yeah,
place.
it was like slung up in a tree somewhere. She cuts
Okay.
it back down.
Yeah.
Says, "We're close."
Good. And it seems you got something back.
Well, I offered you payment.
We'll worry about that when we get back safe. And he's still sort of trying to keep an eye on the sky just to see if there's any first sign of not returning or Verlin showing up, but he doesn't have a lot of hope of them knowing that until they're like right up on him because of the
Mhm.
weather.
Yeah. And I think we can cut over to Verlin. You've seen this thing, and it has turned toward you. And I think there's a moment for you to act before you see its reaction. So you can either do something or you can wait to respond to it.
I think this is a hey, I'm feeling out of this is a weird spirit shit that's going on here moment. That's for Verlaine to vibe check this situation.
Vibe check. I feel like we could roll that into a gather information, maybe?
Okay.
Like maybe you're consulting the sword sort of situation and your own knowledge.
Yeah.
Gather information is just now a vibe check from here on.
Yeah. You're conducting a visual investigation.
Yeah, it's visual is probably as close as we're gonna get for this because it's very spiritual.
All right.
Okay.
Go for it.
That's wit, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Weak hit.
Weak hit. On a weak hit, the information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. Envision what you discover and take +1 momentum. So you get the +1 momentum, and then you can envision what you discover, or you can ask me.
Okay. So I think at least what it looks like to the camera, the gold streak that's in her eye kind of glows slightly as she takes in this. And again, she's not looking at this creature; she's looking through and around it as she starts to kind of look as to where that part in the veil is, essentially, to see if there's anything that doesn't belong here on this world.
And I think because Verlin can see spirits, right, is what we're getting from this.
Yeah.
I think you can see the spirit of a person, or what is recognizable in sort of tone as a person, but it has been bent into something discordant and wrong, and it is no longer a person.
Okay. Cool.
And it's going to charge you.
Great.
Letting forth a bellow that sounds at once like that horrible screech that elk make, but it's a human voice trying to make that. Like it's human vocal cords trying to screech out this guttural animal sound as it charges you. And I think it might be time to enter the fray.
Yeah.
And find out which of you has initiative.
Woo! Okay. Let's.
I'm so scared for you.
Yep.
And
so
it
excited.
is a dangerous foe.
Okay, great. Love that for me.
Love that. Oh, yo.
Okay.
That's on combat moves, right?
Dangerous. Yep. The voltage determined who's in control. Okay. Okay. So, enter the
I
fray.
think you're either facing off against your foe or potentially ambushed, but I'll let you pick.
I think
that
this is
just a-
facing off against the foe, just because I have been watching this person.
You were ready for it to
considerable
attack
moment.
you? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this something you need to mark on the group track, or is this for Verlin? Because Verlin's the only one in it right now, right?
Yeah, we can make a group check for this monster, because who knows?
I mean, I'm hoping to be there soon. Yeah.
So we can make
What should I write as the name of this beast, Dylan?
Broken Crow.
Ooh, I love that. Broken Crow. Okay, I marked it.
All right. So I'm rolling with heart, no modifier. There we go. That's a fucking miss.
Ooh, that's a miss. On a miss, combat begins with you at a disadvantage. Pay the price. Your foe has initiative. So, you don't have initiative, which is bad. Initiative, for those of you paying attention at home, does not work like it does in many other games that use that word. It's not about who goes first or what, it's who has the advantage in combat at a given moment. And certain combat moves require you to have initiative in order to do them. So very proactive combat moves require you to be the one who has initiative. For paying the price, do you want it to be harmful or stressful?
This is probably gonna hurt. I think it's just a matter of just figuring out what the fuck this thing is, and I'm gonna let it hit me.
Okay, yeah. So it charges you, and you were prepared to fight to an extent, but you weren't prepared for how fast it moves. And
Right.
it almost as if the vast, like the almost like knee-high snow weren't there. It is on top of you immediately. And you can see that its fingertips are red, and it just reaches out and like clutches at your neck and like gouges a gash into the side of your neck. And you will take 1 harm because this is just the consequences of your miss.
Okay.
I don't know if that's how harm works in this context. If Sean Tompkin wants to correct me, he's allowed. And then it's fighting time.
Cool.
So,
I'm just trying to figure out where to adjust my health.
it's at the top of the summary, I believe.
Yeah. The number where your health is at the top of your sheet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I can actually click
on,
that.
You click on the
Yeah.
number and it.
Okay. Yeah.
Take it down to a +4.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
so you have 2 options, really. Or you can use any move that you want in combat. You don't have to use the combat moves. But while in combat, the specific things that you can do is you can either clash, which is when your foe has initiative and you fight with them in close quarters. You will roll +iron. Or you can turn the tide, which is once per fight. When you risk it all, you may steal initiative from your foe to make a move that is not a progress move. When you do, you add 1 and you take +1 momentum on a hit. But if you fail to score a hit on that move, you must suffer a dire outcome.
Cool. We're just gonna clash.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just gonna fight. What is that with? Sorry.
Roll +iron.
Okay, cool. That's another miss. Jesus.
Ooh. Ooh, no. That's real bad. On a miss, you are outmatched and must pay the price, and your foe has initiative. So you do not gain initiative. What does it look like when Verlin tries to harm them and fails against this like strange creature?
I think it's the removal of so she's drawing Bastion from her side,
Mhm.
and she tries to aim it, but I think Bastion's energy responds to this weird situation they're in, like not exactly liking this discordant spirit they've seen, and so I think that he kind of like almost like as if the blade moves of its own accord, as if trying to move in one direction while she's trying to move in another, and it just ends up throwing off both of them.
Yeah.
And the sword just misses.
Yeah, and I think it goes wide. The strike goes wide, and the creature, the broken crow, crouches down as like to dodge the attack that it was expecting. But then from its sort of hunched position, it pushes forward and buries these antlers like deep into your rib in your side, and it carries you down to the snow. You're going to take 2 harm off of that.
Oh Jesus! Okay.
And it rears back, like throwing its head back, letting out this horrible, non-human, non-animal cry with like an arc of blood wicking off of the antlers. And we're going to cut over to Knot.
Hi. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm gonna track Berlin.
Yeah. Go ahead and gather
Gather
some
information?
of that information.
I'd love to. Hold on, I'm just making sure that I don't have a bonus to that at all. I don't think I do, but no, it's good. We're fine. Okay. I'm gonna do it. Okay. Weak hit. I'm weak,
hit
but I'm
it.
not out. Okay.
The information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger.
Ooh.
Envision what you discover and take +1 momentum.
I have an envisioning. I have a vision.
All right. You're envisioning respectfully? What are you envisioning?
I see 2 sets of tracks in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
One that I know to be Berlin,
Mm-hmm.
and one that I deeply sense to be the Chosen.
Okay.
Because that means I have to choose between one of my vows
Mm.
and Berlin.
What do you do?
Well, if you agree to that.
I mean, I think it's a little early in your quest for the Chosen to just be like hanging out right here, but
Well, sure, but I don't think they're going to be like right on the other side of the storm, right? Like these, because the snow is so deep and like so thick at this point, like those tracks could be probably several days old and still have an imprint on the ground.
typically it works the other way, where when you have snowfall, it covers tracks and hides them.
But the snow's falling at the same rate throughout, right? So like a track would still have an indentation even as the.
Nope, that's not how that works. But
Oh my
we
God,
can
I don't
timey-wimey
know how that
magic shit it and say that you have like this spiritual feeling
envision.
of a trail. Like you can feel
Yeah.
the resonance of their spirit
I'm
having
happy
moved
for
through
another.
here.
I'm happy for another option if you would like to give me another obstacle. I'm just trying to think of like stuff that could like actually slow me down or like would actually be a choice, if that makes sense.
It's not about making a choice necessarily. It's just complicating things or introducing a new danger. My suggestion would be you hear this triumphant yell that's by Verlin, but you also see another one of these creatures turning as it hears that sound.
Can I see it though? I thought this was a spirit creature.
No, the creature exists.
Okay.
Verlin was like X-ray visioning into the creature's
Oh, okay.
soul.
I thought Berlin could see it because Berlin can see spirits.
Nope, it's
okay.
It's a thing. It's a corporeal thing. Are you cool with that? Do
Yeah,
you like that?
that's
Do you
fine.
like the other one?
Do I like it?
What outcome do you want here? It's your
I mean, I'm
call.
not gonna fight it.
Okay. All right.
If that's what you're asking me, I'm gonna fly past it and continue towards
That's
Berlin.
not what I'm asking. Oh boy. My question is, we have proposed 2 potential complications. One of them is you sense that the Chosen has been through here and that you could follow and like be on this path. Or the complication is that you see a second creature.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with seeing the second creature.
Cool. All right. But hearing that cry can be enough information for you to move off toward it.
Okay.
And I think we will But, however...
No, it's fine. Because I still would have gotten an 8. I would have still hit. Because I got a +1 because I have a bond with Verlin that I didn't mark, but it's
Gotcha.
me. They still beat me, so it's totally fine.
But you get a +1 for. It would only be if you're asking questions of a person with whom you share a bond.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You'd have to be talking to Verlin and be like,
For
"Hey,
sure, for
tell
sure.
me where you are." Cool. Okay, and I think we can cut back to Verlin. You are on the ground. The snow next to you is quickly turning a deep red, and this creature is standing over you, yelling into the storm. What do you do?
This is fine. I'm gonna keep trying to fight it, I guess.
Okay, you're gonna clash again?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll try this again. Wait. Go look at my assets again. Just real quick.
I know you have
okay.
some fight stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I have to burn momentum to do that. So we do that. Strong hit.
Ooh, all right. On a strong hit, inflict your harm, and choose one. That means we mark progress on the track. All right. Or is it? Oh God, how does harm work? Do we do one progress per harm? Uh-oh. How does player harm work? Ah, fuck. How do we play this game? I'm looking at the book.
Looking at the book. We're
Typing
learning this
inflicting harm.
system.
When you successfully attack a foe using strike or clash, you may inflict harm. If you are armed with a deadly weapon, you inflict 2 harm. If you are unarmed or using an improvised weapon, you inflict 1 harm. Each point of harm you inflict is marked as progress. Okay, so you're marking twice, which will be 6 progress. And then let me go back to clash, because you get to choose. You bolster your position and take +1 momentum, or you find an opening and inflict +1 harm, which would be marking 3 times.
So it's a choice between inflicting more harm and therefore another
mark.
or
Taking +1 momentum. Which you just burned momentum, right? To do this.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you were burning momentum for a fight.
No,
Okay.
If I did, I'd be doing 2 extra harm on that.
Jesus!
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I have to use momentum in order to activate that, and I have to use it to improve my result. So specifically to do the removal of something, not necessarily just using it. At least that's how I read it.
Okay. Yep.
So, sure, we'll do that extra harm on top of it.
Cool. All right. So mark 3 times on the Broken Crow, which is in the group tracks.
Yep. Broken Crow. Mark. Oh.
Yep. No, that was correct.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So you got 6.
Okay. Cool.
Because it is a dangerous foe. So every time you deal harm, it's 2 boxes.
All right. Okay.
So you have the initiative now.
Yep.
Meaning you can choose to strike, or you could choose to try and end the fight, which would be risky because you only have 6 boxes. But end the fight is the progress move, much like arrive at your destination is the one for journeys. End the fight is the one for combat.
Okay. I'm just gonna still hit it, I think.
All right. go ahead and strike. When you have initiative and attack in close quarters, roll plus iron.
Cool. Strike. Iron. And no modifier. And strong hit.
Yo! That is what I am talking about. All
Ooh,
right.
boy.
You inflict +1 harm and you retain initiative, so that is 3. You're gonna max out the track here.
Okay, cool.
Would you like to end the fight?
Yes.
All right. So mark it the rest of the way,
Yeah.
and
And
then
then
hit conclude.
Yeah.
Ooh, a weak hit. On a weak hit, so on a strong hit, this foe is no longer in the fight. They are killed out of action, flee, or surrender as appropriate to the situation and your intent. On a weak hit, as above, but you must also choose one. It's worse than you thought, and you endure harm. You are overcome, and you endure stress. Your victory is short-lived. A new danger or foe appears, or an existing danger worsens. You suffer collateral damage. Something of value is lost or broken, or someone important must pay the cost. You'll pay for it. An objective falls out of reach, or others won't forget, and you are marked for vengeance.
Okay. Honestly, I probably pissed this thing off. And if there's one close by,
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna be great. So, and also I just killed one of these former crows,
Mm-hmm.
which did not look great. Probably from the outside.
Are you thinking marked for vengeance?
Probably.
Okay.
As to whose vengeance is up to you.
Oh no, I have thoughts.
Yeah, okay.
So how do you dispatch this monster? Are you killing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I'm
figured.
killing. I'm not letting this thing go. I think as she pushes forward with Bastian,
Mhm.
I think where the robe is now kind of turning that purple color from the
Mhm.
blood staining into it, she starts to draw on that shift between life and death here,
Mhm.
that balance, to tune in with the and not almost again not really see this creature for what it is, but see that broken spirit within it.
Mhm.
And she strikes out with the Bastian, and right as to where the spirit is housed in this, to free it from its former body, now cage.
All
And
right.
so it just slices through.
Yeah. And I think you feel you cut through it, and you feel something in its soul break. And there's a burning sensation on the back of your hand. And it's the corpse falls to the ground and moves no longer. But when you check the back of your hand, there is a faint symbol, like white, sort of like a scar, like an old faded scar of it's like 3 spirals that rotate around each other, but there's a crack through the middle. There's a line drawn directly through the middle of it. And as Nott sort of descends from the sky, seeing her companion clearly injured and bleeding, knowing that another creature is on its way, and Ash and Fauna draw close to the campsite, this is where we are going to end episode 1. So, thank you all so much for joining us for D's shenanigans. Hopefully it has been entertaining and interesting. We will be back for more of this in 2 weeks' time. That is the 5th of September. To find out if our heroes can brave the blizzard. As has been pointed out in chat, I do have a tendency to kill someone on the second episode. Not on purpose, it just happens, and usually it's Jess. So we're gonna...
Can vouch, I have died a lot here.
Not usually, exclusively.
I had a campaign that Jess wasn't in where the entire party died in the second episode.
Okay,
Yeah, but I wasn't
technically-
there.
Was that streamed? Yeah, Jess wasn't there,
Yeah,
and
no,
was it streamed?
It was, yeah.
Who was it?
It was the League. It was back when I played the
Oh,
Dragon
gotcha,
game.
gotcha.
Yeah.
But Jess wasn't there, so it doesn't
No.
count.
Yeah. If I was there, it would have been me that died, not the whole
Yeah,
party.
you also would have died for sure. So yeah, look forward to that, and look forward to this top right portion of the overlay looking a little better, as I hopefully have a map by then that we can look at. But before we go, we're going to go around, we're going to do some shout outs and listen to these wonderful players talk about the sort of things that they get up to around the internet, where you can find them, where you can support them and their amazing work. Then we'll close out by talking a little bit about what is coming next. So, Summer, please take some time
Yes, hello.
to talk about yourself.
Yeah, hi. I'm Summer. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That is where I tweet and retweet about everything that I've got going on. Most immediately, you can find me back here on Monday night at 6 p.m. PT. We are playing Broken Age, and we loved it, right, Dylan? We loved it.
It was pretty
We
cool.
loved it so far. So I'm really, really excited to continue that. You can find me on Off the Table this week on Tuesday and Friday. On Tuesday, I will be there for our premiere of our new Mask campaign. And if you know
Hell
me,
yeah.
you know that I don't like superheroes. I don't not like superheroes. I don't like superhero games, but I'm really excited for this one, surprisingly, because I'm a troublemaker. I'm just like a troublemaker, you know? So that's really fun. I'm playing the delinquent
Nice.
with emotional control, because I love that. And then every Saturday you can find me on Salty Sweet Games with Kiana playing some Pulp Cthulhu, where I have died once, but I won't do it again anytime soon. So I hope. I could literally die next week. Like, don't look at me like that. But yeah, I'm really excited for our next episode of this. It's gonna be so fun. But yeah,
Hell
that's where you
yeah.
can find me.
Cool. Our spooky warrior, who's first blood in this game, Kiana, who are you? Where can people find you?
Woo! Yeah, this was fun. Watch me as I just throw my character. What I do here. Hashtag bad life choices for any of my characters. But anyways, y'all can find me over on Twitter at KennaS. Best way to figure I'm doing about the internet. You also role-playing things with that streaming, writing, sharing the void. I am one half of Salty Sweet Games, which is a channel which runs TTRPG stuff Saturdays or Tuesdays now. This is where we're at. Yeah, mostly just hang out there, and now I hang out here. I'm excited to be back here. It's gonna be great if I don't die next episode.
I mean, there are things that can happen to you before you die when you run out of HP. It's all good. It's.
That's not reassuring.
I can attest to it personally.
Jess. Where can people find you?
Hi, this was fun. You can find me on Twitter at Little Cup of Joe. I really haven't been tweeting much of anything because I just don't want to.
Fair.
I have no energy to say words to the void. But You can reliably find me on my Twitch channel every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10 p.m. Pacific, which is like in an hour.
Mhm.
Fridays is Hades until votes tell me otherwise. Immediately in the next hour, I get to be really, really sad because, believe it or not, we're still working through Hakuoki.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We are on the last route. We are on Hijikata's route. We're finishing it out with the poster boy of the game, and it's real sad. It's extremely sad all the time. So if you want to come and be sad, come hang out with me.
You
If
were
you-
playing Hakuoki the last time you were on From Dust.
Correct. Correct. It's been a long journey. If you would rather be sad on Sunday, I'm playing Psychedelica of the Ashen Hawk, which is a beautiful mystery game that is also very sad and probably deals with like death and grief and how you handle those things. And maybe revenge. It's fine. And I look forward to dying next episode because I have a trend to maintain.
Oh no. You're nothing.
It's not a trend,
not
it's a brand.
Well,
No, don't die. We have to make it
It's
happen.
okay. I can do that though.
No, you're not gonna die
yeah.
next time.
I mean, it says the Revenant in the overlay. I think we all know what's going on with Ash, and it's creepy and weird, and I love it.
Ash has already died. We don't need him to die again.
No, it's fine. Like that's the whole point.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll kill Jess, and it'll be fine.
Awesome.
It's what we all want, truly, unless your name is Summer, in which case you really don't want that. But look, if we've learned anything from my games, it's that these aren't about what Summer wants as much as she tries so hard. That's the hero's journey, is Summer trying to make it about what she wants. And me being like, no.
Aren't all RPGs about trying to get what you want? Did I misread what games are about?
Look, Summer, if Ash dies, like it's an opportunity for a smooch, it's fine.
It's a smooch opportunity.
If this is a True Love's Kiss thing, then I'm like
Sure.
happy to look forward to that.
Go for it.
Oh boy. All right. Hi, I'm Dylan. You're on my channel. Whether that be twitch.tv/Anarsys or youtube.com/Anarsys. Either way, if you were catching this show at the end of the stream and want to go back, but you're worried about not being caught up on the main series of From Dust, do not worry. This is literally 500 years before that campaign, and catching up on that will not serve you in any way, shape, or form. It will just make you wait several months as I slowly upload the videos. Because we've got like, I don't know, 8 or 10 more main series videos for me to upload. They're edited. It's just getting them uploaded and scheduled and all that is time consuming.
I was like, damn, I thought you got this done.
I did the editing. I'm working on it. But yeah, this can be enjoyed on its own. If you've been watching this on YouTube, you can catch this show every other Saturday on the Twitch channel live at 6 p.m. Pacific. Or you can just keep watching it on YouTube if you prefer that. I totally understand. What's coming up? Summer already mentioned on Monday we have Really Playing Games, which is our point-and-click adventure game show. If you want to catch up on that, the first video of Broken Age should be up there soon. Tomorrow if I get my shit together. Tuesday if I don't. But we've got that Mondays, 6 p.m. every single week. Wednesday at 5 or 6, somewhere around there, I'm going to be back to play some video games. I haven't decided what I'm going to play because we just finished Ocarina of Time. But I'm kind of thinking I might play Halo Combat Evolved because I have it. And those games are great. And what better thing to do than to go from a game that matters a lot to me and makes me cry to another game that matters a lot to me and makes me cry. But I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a surprise to both you and myself. And I think that's pretty much it for things I have to plug. I think. Watch us fuck up in real time. Yeah, that's if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to watch us fuck up in real time, without the opportunity to press the right arrow while you hear me talk about rules. Come watch it. I'm really selling it. Come watch it on Twitch. I have a Patreon. It's linked down below, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. I have a Twitter that you can follow. I make games that are on itch.io. I make free stuff that's on itch.io. And that's about it. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, but most importantly, have a wonderful rest of your night. Good night.